You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
What's up, guys? What a great day it's been so far.
yeah, it's been a great day. You know, today is going well for us. Hopefully it's going well for you. In case you haven't looked on the weekend, it's been a big weekend in the movie world because Black Panther finally hit the screens.
Yay!
And people who've been waiting since Age of Ultron, since the mention of Wakanda, are probably pretty much really hyped up. So with that said, unfortunately, there's also been another tragedy that this past week, where 17 students died in, I think it was Parkland. It's funny how all these things are just like merging together, but over in Parkland, Florida, over at a high school where 17 were shot dead by another school shooting, by some psycho, some Nicholas Cruz or something, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas there's celebration going on because of the movie review, the movie that had come out, there's also a lot of tragedy. And, 17 kids have to be buried.
Yeah, so we want to talk about this, and so we're going to make sure to spotlight just this subject, unfortunately, again.
Because it doesn't seem to be helping that all these thoughts and prayers are doing anything. So, peace to all the parents out there who are going through all that nonsense, because once again, lawmakers aren't doing anything. But we're going to discuss that and see what's going on. But, otherwise, the whole week has been going pretty well. I'm traveling, running around, and I'll be back for next week's podcast. So you won't miss me. We'll be here. And we're also going to do all the DACA stuff, too, coming up.
Yeah, we got a lot to plan for that. And again, you want to participate, let us know if you want to come be part of the podcast with us.
Yeah, because, we're going to limit it to about 4, but, if we can go over if we do, because March 5th is coming, but there has been a stay of execution for the DACA kids thanks to the 2 circuit judges.
Yeah, again, with so much going on, some announcements were made, so we'll talk about that. But what we're going to talk about relationships, though.
So, of course, we're going to talk about Black Panther. We saw that, and that was really good. Make sure you check out the review over on the Zod and Drea podcast. And the Valentine's Day is what we're going to talk about relationship-wise, because obviously last week was Valentine's Day, so we want to know what you did. We'll tell you what we did. And do you want to say what the main topic is? I mean, we didn't really say it.
Well, main topic is the Second Amendment more valued than human lives?
So it's like, let's tackle that one. We put it up on the board, but we want to see. So let's start off with, we'll start off on a couple good foots before we get into the tragedy. So, Black Panther.
What a great movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I had a good time. So,
Black Panther hit the scene, and if you don't know, it's, I think a character that was developed, I think in the 1960s. I think 1966 or 65. It was something like, I think it was the same year as the Black Panther Party, but...
yes, it was actually.
Which was, I think that was just, irony. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it was a Black Panther character. And the whole basis of it is the fact that, and the reason why there's so much amped up and hypeness of it is that it's a movie that's in the fantasy world of Marvel that is based on a black character who's strong. He's a king, king of a small country, but it's got a lot of resources that hasn't been pretty much colonized by Europeans, like the entire continent of Africa has. So it hasn't been mined to death, and they have this one mineral where now the technology is so advanced, it's way more advanced than anything, and the Black Panther is a tradition passed on and on. So that's where the comic book goes in, and they go into this with this movie. I mean, they don't tackle everything because at one time, at least in an alternate universe, Black Panther was married to Storm of the X-Men.
Really?
Yeah, and I think they had a kid too.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I know, but that that's going in deep into it. But of course, I think who is it? Sony that has the rights to the X-Men. They're not trying to give that up.
Oh,
anytime
damn,
soon.
that would have been cool.
I know, right? They would imagine just let Marvel have their characters back. But it was a really dope movie, and to see so many black people who are so amped up for this, since Wakanda was mentioned in Age of Ultron, because Ultron, when he wound up rebuilding himself in that movie, had made himself out of the vibranium, which is the material you can only get from Wakanda. So that's what people are like, oh, wait, they're talking about Wakanda now. Oh, wait a minute now. Like, now it's getting serious. They're talking about Black Panther here. But, and then they had Ulysses S. Claw, who was there. He was actually there, and that's Ultron in that movie is the one who ripped his arm off. I don't know if you remember that part.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. So he had ripped his arm off.
He ripped Gollum's arm off. He's always going to be on Gollum for me.
Caesar's arm got ripped off. And Snoke's arm got... So he got his arm ripped off, and obviously in the comic book, that's who he is. He's a one-armed guy, and his arm is like a weapon, and obviously... you fast forward into what was it? Where he made his appearance. No, yeah, not in Sokovia, and what do you call it? Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War, because in Civil War, that's when he made his appearance. And that's when people just lost their shit when they saw Black Panther. So knowing that his own movie was coming out, it's finally out. Shout out to Falcon, and Falcon and Nick Fury. Look, those are black characters too. We're not putting you down, fellas. But people were really wanting to see a king, come up, and a very, very positive. Not that they aren't, but a very positive black role model from the motherland.
And to see the motherland itself of Wakanda, even though it is a made-up country,
green screen, yeah.
It is. It's so awesome to see like how a community could be like, how a world could be like that, or I'm sorry, a country could be like that, cherishes its advancements, its natural resources,
but yet keeps its history.
Yes,
that's what's so cool. It kept its historical traditions as well. So even to become the Black Panther, it's like, hey, you know what? Anybody else from these other tribes want to battle me? Normally it's like, just go ahead. But then when somebody else like, hey, you got to fight.
It was a good balance of that tradition.
Yeah, it was a good of tradition plus future, because the technology, they're so far advanced in their technologies that even what's his name, the Martin's character, the Sherlock Holmes dude, he couldn't even believe the technology because they don't have that outside of Wakanda. So it almost was like a future area. But I'd say definitely you got to see. I'm going to see it a couple more times.
I got to see it because I know there was some scenes that just I need to see again. The women that are depicted in this movie are phenomenal. They are badasses. They are beautiful.
And
they are
in the comic
intelligent.
Books they are too. And that's just it. They are extremely intelligent. Like that's the difference between this and a lot of the other movies portraying black people, and that's why black people are so amped up. It's a definite must see. Because it's just beautifully done.
It's beautifully done, and I love the music. I'm downloading the soundtrack.
Yes. Kendrick Lamar did his thing on it. So, anyway, go check out Black Panther. If you haven't seen it, read the review over on the Zod and Drea podcast.
We might see it in the theater because we'll watch it many times.
Yeah, we're going to see it again. So, let's also talk about Valentine's Day.
Valentine's.
Yeah, so obviously on February 14th, Valentine's Day had occurred, as it does with every year, which is a very manufactured and made up holiday, so that Hallmark gets all of its money, and candy manufacturers do too, as well as florists. So they are really depending on your dollars, because if your mom doesn't get any flowers, she's going to yell at you, as well as your wife and your girlfriend.
And so I don't really know if a lot of people know the dark origins of Valentine's Day. So a lot of I think Christians like to say, oh, it's based on a saint. Actually, it's a pagan holiday, guys. This was based on a pagan holiday. They go back to the Roman times, where it was to give. It was like a ritual that was done not on the 14th, but like 2 days before. So it was like the 12th and the 13th. So it was a 2-day type of fertility festival where women and young virgins were brought in for the king to be flogged and beaten with animal hides, so that supposedly it would make the women fertile. And it was just one big orgy party, and there were sacrifices of all types of animals, and in some cases it even says, and some historians are saying that even women were sacrificed. So this doesn't sound like a very loving holiday to me. But because when Christianity came around, that's when they're like, well, we'll just tie this in together and make it into something then that would be useful for all the converts coming around.
Now, see, the Smithsonian, they say this about that. They say that many scholars have deconstructed Valentine in his day in books, articles, and blogs. Some suggest that the modern holiday is a Christian cover-up of the more ancient Roman celebration of Lupercalia, whatever, in mid-February. So, Lupercalia originated as a ritual in rural masculine cult involving the sacrifice of goats and dogs and evolved later into an urban carnival. So, check this out. During the festivities, half-naked young men ran through the streets of Rome, streaking people with thongs cut from the skins of newly killed goats. Can you believe that? And pregnant women thought it brought them healthy babies. So, in 1496 AD, however, the Pope, Gelasius,
I remember him.
denounced the rowdy festival. They say that still there's no evidence that the Pope purposely replaced Lupercalia with a more sedate cult. So there's no real proof of it, that it was a cover-up. From the early origins of St. Valentine, they're saying that there were several St. Valentines and who had died on February 14th, and 2 of them were executed during the reign of the Roman Emperor Claudius Gothicus. Either way, it's screwy. I mean, either way, the holiday sucks.
It doesn't sound like there were like loving Cupid arrows,
You know what I'm saying? Like a naked cherub sitting there shooting arrows, and I fell in love. That's stupid.
No. So I guess we can all really kind of understand that this is, again, a very corporate-built holiday. Like, Hershey's Candy makes tons of money.
Like, they all make a lot of money off of this
Jared,
crap.
Or all the jewelers.
You said Jared. I'm like, he's in jail. He's in jail for perversion.
He's got his own Valentine
His own
right now.
Yeah, does
Gross.
he? Yeah, does he? There you go, Jared.
Gross, you deserve it.
Have a foot long, you bastard.
Deserve it.
Oh my God. Anyway, it's like what we did though. We didn't even talk about what we did.
Yeah, what we did.
All right, so
I
that's what we
enjoy
did.
this.
So we have a tradition. Zod and Drea have a tradition where we go and volunteer at St. Vincent de Paul homeless shelter, and we go and help the poor and needy, whether they're homeless or they're just low-income families who just come in for
Just
a meal.
need some help.
And they just need some help, and it's like, hey, it's Valentine's Day, whatever, and they can get a good meal. So we go and we make sure that we donate our time. So instead of giving each other something, because I don't want to pay for a card on that day. Like, for what? I'm not buying any flowers on that day. I buy flowers on April 17th. You know why? Because it's April 17th. That's why.
And they're pretty flowers.
I mean, please. That's why I'll do it. I'm not going to do it because someone told me to do it. So we do that, and we make sure that we give our time and our energy and focus to other people, and you just get so much more out of it.
Mm-hmm. You really do. And there's not this crazy pressure, that's what, and so many people are depressed and just under stress during that day. No, that's not what love's about. Love is all year long. Love is you don't have to feel any pressure. That's ridiculous.
Please listen carefully.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Zod.
And I'm Drea.
And we want you to check out the Zod and Drea podcast every Tuesday.
Where can everybody find us at?
You can always check us out on www.zodanddrea.com.
Where else?
You can always check us out also on Facebook at Zod and Drea.
Instagram?
Zod and Drea.
Snapchat?
Zod and Drea.
YouTube?
Zod and Drea.
I see a pattern.
So if you haven't caught that, catch us at Zod and Drea on all the social networks. But also, make sure you subscribe to the Zod and Drea podcast. Where?
At zodanddrea.com.
And also on YouTube and iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio. We're coming for you.
Let us know what you think. And if you want to be a guest, reach out to us.
And put all of your input into whatever our topics are for the week. So we hope to check you out and see you there.
Bye!
All right, this is going to be a doozy, and we've got a whole bunch of facts and all kinds of things, as well as our own opinions. So take it with a grain of salt if you want, but if I were you, I'd definitely follow through on what we're going to say. Because the topic is the Second Amendment more valued than human lives? And you really have to think about this one, the Second Amendment. And the reason we ask that is because no matter what happens and how many people are gunned down in the United States every year, how many massacres that happen, how many people buy bullets and go and just shoot people, you always are going to have the defectors who wind up saying, oh, you know what, it's mental health. Oh, no, you know what, that's what we have to focus on is mental health. It's not the gun's fault. The gun didn't pick itself up and do this. And you're going to have people who believe that gun violence has nothing to do with guns.
Yeah, and it even separate from the school shootings, You look at every day how many children are killed by handguns, how many women are murdered, how many men are murdered by handguns or just by assault rifles. Even though it may be one here, one there, you don't hear of a mass shooting every day. It's like a health issue.
It happens enough. I mean,
it's a major health issue.
It probably is. I'm sure that on the CDC you'd be able to actually find, what it is. But statistically, America has, this is according to Vox, America has 6 times as many firearm homicides as Canada and nearly 16 times as many as Germany. Now, 6 times as many firearm homicides as Canada and nearly 16 times as many as Germany. I want you to think about these numbers. Now, it doesn't matter how large or small Germany is or whatever. This is Germany, and this is the United States. It doesn't matter if it's 16 times. You're trying to tell me that the United States has that much health, like that much mentally ill people, that many more than Germany, statistically and by ratio?
Right.
Like, that's just an excuse that gun lobbyists and gun advocates give because they don't want to admit that people dying by bullets are getting shot by guns. It has nothing to do with mental health. It's because people know that they can do as much damage as they can. You can't stop somebody who has a brain, who's like, I'm going to go and do this, with pills. You're not going to stop them with pills and giving them counseling. You're going to have to do that with everybody. You're going to have to do that with everybody. Are you trying to tell me that everybody who is pissed off about something in Germany, they don't think about going to get a gun and splatter.
Right.
They like, why do they not do that? It's because they also don't have guns that easily, readily available to them. It is pretty friggin' easy to go get a gun. It's easy in the United States to go get it. And if I'm going to go kill a whole bunch, if I think that in my brain that I'm going to go kill a whole bunch of people, the United States is definitely the place to do it. Number one, because I can get away with it. Number two, I can easily get a gun to do my plan. I'll just go to a Costco. I can easily do that. And number three, I will know that someone will be behind me to do the exact same massacre, and Congress will do nothing about it.
Nothing about it.
Like,
and
think about
for them
that.
for Congress and also too, not just Congress, but you've got a lot of legislators. You've got attorney generals that are saying, oh, we know it's just a mental health issue. If it really is a mental health issue, then why don't you give money then to increase and to have a better healthcare system then if it is a mental issue? If you would think you had a better healthcare system, then you wouldn't have all these people that would be dealing with these types of issues. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. The United States is, sad to say, what can we really say we're number one in? Not in education.
No.
Not in innovation.
Incarceration, we are.
Yeah, incarceration. And in mass shootings.
Police killings. And like that's what we're number one. USA. Mm-hmm. Like, think about that.
It's like, it's not in social support systems, like because of our homeless rates, people that are hungry. It is on this awful statistic, on this awful fact.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a big shift in priorities. As a country, what do we do about this? Oh, we're just going to stand behind the Second Amendment. That's going to protect me.
A year ago, Donald Trump revoked an Obama-era rule that would have blocked some mentally ill people from buying guns. Now, we're talking about your president had blocked. Okay, so Obama-era rule. Obama was like, okay, you know what? Maybe mentally ill people shouldn't, get guns. This guy blocked that.
Right. Since he couldn't get anything passed because of all the NRA-supported congressmen and people in Senate, he was like, okay, let's at least try to do something like this.
So that's what he does. So we're talking about, you now have a guy at the head who doesn't do jack crap about this, and all these people are going to have... If you think that this is going to be the last mass shooting, how many congressmen... I like what CNN had. They had a list of all of the thoughts and prayers that Marco Rubio had posted up from probably like 2013. Like, all he does for every shooting is give thoughts and prayers in his tweets and does absolutely nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
How saintly is he?
Meanwhile, he is also somebody who has gotten a lot of money from the NRA.
How much?
You're asking me. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had that up. One
No,
moment. We'll follow up with that.
I got that. From what it says, he has taken more than any other Florida Politico from the NRA. This is Marco Rubio. and this is the Miami New Times, 3.3 million as of this past October. This is why his tweet for this one was, in days ahead will become increasingly evident that killer in today's Florida school shooting give plenty of indications of what was to come. He does nothing. And I think today he had quoted John. Yeah, I think today he had quoted
he did
John.
a Bible verse?
Yeah.
Because he's so saintly.
Yeah, so he's done with thoughts and prayers, so he's just gonna just post up what a nice little Bible verse. So that puts you online as into where you are with how valuable your life is, how your children, your mother, your father, where do they stand when these politicians come? The NRA will always outrule and outlast you as far as the Second Amendment is concerned, them too. That document that was made, I believe, in 1789 during the ratification of the Bill of Rights, I think it was 1789. So we're talking like a document like 200-something years old, 230 years old or so. Is more valuable than your life, which is born is going to die, and people still will not stop school shootings. The massacre that happened over in Las Vegas, where 58 were dead. San Bernardino, the 9 churchgoers in South Carolina, the 26 adults and little children at Sandy Hook. All of those lives mean nothing because the first thing they say after a school shooting is, "Well, damn, man, the left. Why do you guys got to make this all political now? Let the
Why
family,
we got to talk about gun control?
Let the families grieve, and so that we can last long enough where you'll forget about it and we won't do anything. Like we know what you're doing. You're supposed to talk about things as soon as an illegal alien or an undocumented guy kills somebody, oh my God, build that wall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not wait for this, But when an undocumented person kills something. Oh boy, here we go. Let's talk about it.
Here we go.
No, we got to build that wall. We got to put policy in place. We got to do this stuff. We got to secure our borders. We got to do this.
We're gonna
because
millions of dollars.
Oh my God,
put
because
into
because one person died by something. Well, they weren't supposed to be in this country anyway. But meanwhile, you got people over here shooting up everything. 58 people in Las Vegas. 58. 17 in this school,
and
AR-15s.
You don't hear anything else about it afterwards.
They do not do anything. The NRA is silent. Marco Rubio is silent. Dana Loesch is silent with her stupid crap. You should see her Twitter page. She's trying to deflect the issue to mental health issues.
The NRA is silent, too, on the day after the shooting. So on February 15th, we checked the NRA site. Nothing about the horrific event that happened in Florida. Nothing. In fact, what they had on their website instead was announcing NRA TV and all the topics that they discuss, and one of them is regarding immigration and the NRA.
Because they want to deflect. They do not like talking about guns during gun shootings. That's what's so funny. They love talking about guns, but not when there's a massacre that has happened.
No, all the topics on their show were just about protecting yourself. What this fear is what they're trying to fill people with. That there's a fear out there, like, oh no, they're about to take your rights away.
So yeah, there are gun control laws that are on the books that may not be enforced, but there can be more that you can do. There's more. I'm saying my whole thing is it's a gun. It's meant to kill people. That's its only job. You can get a hammer. No, a hammer's job is to drive nails into something. People can twist it into whatever they want, but 99% of the hammers out there are driving nails into a wall and not into people. So you can use that argument. Yet how many guns are out there are meant to kill things? Oh, right. That's right. 100% of them. That's why. So don't even give me that argument. Oh, well, a drunk driver shut the hell up. That's why they put seatbelts in cars. That's why they have Uber and taxis to call people. They put things in place so that people can get home safer. Mm-hmm. Because you don't have to take away the gun, but you can put safety so that mentally imbalanced people don't get them. Wouldn't that be oh my God, wouldn't that be something?
Why would anybody sell it's not an AK, it's an
AR-15
to a 19-year-old?
Like, there's absolutely no reason why.
Why would a 19-year-old need a semi-automatic weapon?
At all. Why do you need anything? Like, sit your ass down. And the thing is, they need to treat these things like cars. Why is that so difficult? If your life is so valuable that it's like, look, in order for you to get a car, you need insurance, You need a title. You got to put a certain amount of money down. You got to make sure your credit is
You
good.
got to get it inspected.
You got to get it inspected. Yeah, you got to do all the gas and all the fumes and the exhaust,
smog,
all of that testing. Yeah, this is just before. And then let's not even talk about your license. You got to get your license and do your driver's. You got to do a written test and a driver's test. You have to do all of this just to get on a road so that you can go 1 mile down the street, so you can go to a Circle K and fill it up. That's what you have to do just to be able to do that. If you're caught without insurance or you're caught with a broken, like anything, a cop can stop you that easily. You can get it. You can get it. But a gun? Nah, just come on and get one. No problem. It can kill people. It's all good. Because why? The Second Amendment. Because the Second Amendment is more than your human life. There's a problem there. And when you have shows like, check this, CNBC says, the gun rights lobby outspends gun control advocates by a wide margin. Are you listening to that?
I'm looking up at Los Angeles Times just reported, too. The NRA doubled down during the elections in 2016. They spent over $19.7 million for any type of advertisement or organizations that opposed Hillary Clinton. And they spent $10.8 million in support of Donald Trump and his organizations. So they spent $19 million just to make sure that Hillary Clinton didn't get into office.
That's wild. And this is the gun lobby.
This is the gun lobby,
and
NRA.
You should see what they're doing now. Like the gun rights, they have a list on CNBC of direct and outspending. And these guys, I mean, gun control is funny because, there might be one person who has 2.4 million, whatever, spending for gun control. Gun rights, 1.5 mil, 1.5 mil, 1.2 mil, 1.1 mil, 1.1 mil, 900,000, 700,000, 300,000, and a whole bunch of 200,000. Compared to that 2 mil for the gun control is like, then the next one's 637,000, 300. Then it goes down to 5 digits. They are getting outspent like crazy by gun money.
Gun companies profit off of this fear every time there's a massacre.
They love this. That's why they're quiet.
That their stocks, and it was in 1 second here. Let me quote this. New York Times reports and the increase in uptick in sales for guns after a massacre happens, after a school shooting.
Yeah, it does.
Because then the increase shows the public is afraid then laws would be passed to limit them from buying a gun. How sick is that?
It's completely ridiculous, and you can't even try to keep up with how many of these mass shootings are going on. So we're talking about an uptick in gun sales. So we got the one the other day. We got and these are just the popular ones. The Pulse night. You remember the Pulse nightclub where that guy, he killed 49 people. And then a couple killed 14 people storming California Social Service Agency in December. I don't even know if you heard that one.
Which they still don't even want to label the Pulse nightclub massacre as a hate crime.
Yeah. Well, I think he was gay himself, but...
Right.
Another one in November 2015, a gunman kills 3 after storming Colorado Planned Parenthood. I mean, come on. 9, of course. 9 killed at an Oregon community college before killing himself. And we know the 9 in South Carolina. In July of 2015, the gunman kills 5 at Tennessee. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
The only thing that shows, because we're wrapping up soon, the only thing that I can say from seeing some of these interviews with the children that have survived and the videos that they posted, it's the kids that are now voicing their fears and concerns, asking government, do something about this. We are tired of this.
America has 4.4% of the world's population, but almost half of the civilian-owned guns around the world. And you're trying to tell me that there's not a gun problem. It's a mentally ill problem. You know what the mentally ill problem is? The fact that so many Americans feel that they need guns.
That's
pretty
crazy.
much it. All right? Anyway, let us know what you think. We actually have this question posted up on the website, on the Facebook page, and we want to know what you think. I mean, is your life more valuable than the Second Amendment? Is yours?
Are you willing to die for your guns?
Yeah, are you willing to die for your guns? Are you willing to kill your own children so that other people have the Second Amendment? Think about it that way. Are you willing to kill your wife or your husband or your mother, your father, your sister, your brother for the Second Amendment? Think of it that way. What's more important to you? So anyway, hit us up, www.zodandrea.com, And make sure you check out Black Panther because it's going to be in the theaters for a while.
See it multiple times. So it's wonderful.
And make sure you see all the other Marvel movies so you know what the hell you're looking at. Don't just be looking at pretty movie. You know, you got to know because it's going to continue on. And you got to make sure you stay for the extra credits because we got some things going on that are coming up.
That's true. And let us know how your Valentine's Day was too.
Yeah, probably sucked. Anyway, talk to you later.
Anyway.